On this week's episode of the Superhero Show, we'll find out if this week's Flash prepares us for the finale, if this week's Sweet Tooth shows us the joy of a stolen ice cream truck, and if the X-Men are ready to say goodbye to Charles, while we also have to say goodbye to them. All of that and more on an all-new episode of the Superhero Show. What's up, nerds? Welcome to the Superhero Show, the only show on the internet that reviews every single live-action television show based on a comic book, as well as some of the animated ones. My name is Cassie, and I will be the host for this episode. And tonight, you guys, it's a bit of a hashtag boys night, because it's the boys here. Introducing boy number one, of course, is Ryan.
Oh, Cassie. I think that I could probably be boy number one and boy number two. I just have so much testicular energy right now. I am like vibing. I am vibing right now. Just manliness, right?
That's not what I wanted at a boys' night. I didn't want to immediately mention the amount of testosterone you got going on.
Just before we started recording, I made you both, and Mike is here, by the way. I made you both watch me eat a banana, and I eat it with such vigor, such
vim.
Oh God, yeah, vim
Piss
and
vinegar
vigor.
soaked banana.
I ate a pickled banana, and it was delicious.
Pickled and piss.
You really dragged out the process too. You weren't just like, here's a quick little snack. You really made us watch you eat this banana.
Yeah.
You guys both had to hum what's that stripper song? While I ate the entire banana.
That sounds like some Muppet shit. So
The last time Ryan was in a strip club was the 1930s.
Anytime anything happened before 1989, Cassie declares that it's some Muppet shit. Oh, yeah.
That's her ageist.
Well, Citizen Kane, what is that? Some Muppet shit?
Shit.
some classic Muppet shit if I've ever seen it.
What a good Diane Feinstein was that some Muppet shit.
No, wheel that Muppet in here. Wheel that Statler and Waldorf into the Senate
Let me tell that dying Muppet what I think about her to her dying Muppet face.
Cassie, are we just Muppets to you?
Yeah, 100%. When you guys are talking, I'm just like, this is fucking classic Muppets.
This is the thing with what's his name from 30 Rock?
Kenneth.
Kenneth sees all people older than him as Muppets, and so I'm finding out right now, along with our audience, that you have been looking at me and Mike for this entire time as old-ass Muppets and never questioning who was puppeteering them, who was doing their voice.
I don't want...
Well, you don't want to... That's like, you don't go to a magic show and go, tell me how you do the trick. So
See?
You're not going to ask those questions.
This Muppet gets it. I would never want that.
Wait, whoa. Can you not make the T so hard at the end of Muppet?
Yeah, seriously. That's our word.
My apologies. But yeah, I hate to break it to you guys. This is a generational thing. Anybody below, a couple years younger than you guys, does see you as Muppets. So just go for it.
That's fine, because the Muppets are great.
Yeah,
love
the Muppets.
They're getting a real resurgence right now.
Yeah, Muppets Mayhem is supposed to be awesome.
Yeah.
Can we maybe change Cassie's intro to be like any TV show based on a comic book or Muppet property?
Yes.
Because we should review the Muppets Mayhem show. It's great.
Mike, just knowing the little bit I know about you and your childhood, I wouldn't be surprised if you had a quick, a moment in time when you tried to be a puppeteer. True or false?
Okay, so that's one of those times I wish it was a video cast, so you could say I legit got sad remembering the bright orange fluffy marionette I had.
It's better than what I thought she was going to say, which is, Mike, knowing your childhood, was your father a human and your mother a puppet?
That's why I'm half sock.
Yeah, how else would he be? Yeah, it was true disappointment. But I'm glad. How long did this this dream live on for you?
I'm pretty sure the strings probably got tangled in the first month, and then he haunted my closet for the next 10 years.
Oh, so you wanted to be like a marionette person?
Yeah, he was a marionette guy. He had 2 legs, a long neck, and a head, no arms. Some sort of demented fucking ostrich thing. Covered in
you
fur.
the character from Buster Scruggs?
I'm the pit character from Buster Scruggs.
Yeah. we found him, folks.
We got him. He's over here. As much as I would like to dig into your past as a brief puppeteer, we do have a show to get to.
No. There's no rule that says the intro should only last so many minutes. We can skip talking about the Flash and dive into Mike's fucking crazy ass history.
It's just so disappointing in myself that I had every nerdy ass dork kid hobby, but I was always too bad at them to even, except for fucking devil sticks.
Cassie, can you even imagine Mike's no-armed puppet trying to do tiny-ass devil sticks and not having the arms to do it? It's just so sad.
So sad.
Sad. It's just profoundly sad.
I just would have liked to be friends with Mike around that age, but when he had already abandoned all of these and his closet was just full of mismatched, fucked up
18
little
magic kits.
hobbies.
You open up any other closet and like basketballs and tin cans fall out. But for Mike, it's the history of nerddom.
Chemistry sets, fucking butterfly nets.
Also,
you said you would have loved to be my friend at that age. You're the only one.
Yeah. Because if somebody would have loved to do it, they would have done it.
They would have. Yeah. But then we wouldn't have the Mike we do today. So thank you to all those kids.
And what an original voice. I didn't have friends as kids. I'll be on a podcast. Thanks, Mike, for being
There's
here
not
tonight.
enough of that. I don't think there's any of those around.
You're the real one. Let you get into comic book stuff, though. So that's why we have you here today. We do have a big show because coming up later, we will be talking about Sweet Tooth. We got Fear the Walking Dead, Riverdale, and guys, we are going to have to say goodbye to X-Men.
Was it? We'll get to it. I had such an emotional week.
I did not want to hit play.
It was a bad time. I'm not ready for this. I'm going to push that off as far as I can. So let's go ahead and go to the main event where we're talking about The Flash. On this week's episode of The Flash, Eddie Thawne is back and he is pissed. He wants his old life back and the negative force, aka Nora, is going to make it happen. Meanwhile, Cecile is bummed because she finds out she doesn't spend much time at home. Taste buds, I ask you this. Does the negative Flash present us with the final villain we need for Flash's end run?
No. It was such... I'm not going to hem and haw around this. When I realized we are 33 minutes into a 43-minute episode and Grant Gustin has not showed up, I was like, what?
And 44 minutes away from the end of a 9-year.
Right.
That's it.
Which I thought this was. And yeah, him and Candace Pattinson, like this, the heart and soul of the Flash and the two main characters and the best actors, not in it. But no, great. We have Nora back.
So important to focus in on the best actors of the series, just not present for most of this.
Guys, I'm going to be real cool about this. I'm not going to burn any bridges. The actor who plays Eddie Thawne, and I'm blaming this on the dialogue, not the acting. Did he go, in the 6 years previous since he was on the show, did he go to unacting class to learn how to exactly not display emotion or read dialogue whatsoever?
Yeah, I think he had to go in deep cover, and any emotion was... He just hasn't acted since then. He was deep cover for the FBI, and so emotion would kill him.
He starts off the show by saying, "I'm alive, and I need to know why." And he sprints out of the room.
I say that every morning.
That's that's what I love about any well-delivered line of dialogue is that you sprint out of the room immediately.
Everything, like, this guy was dealing with a lot, and he had one level of emotion to deal with it all. Like, back from the dead, his love of his life is married to a guy he sacrificed his life for. Nobody fucking remembers this guy, and all of it, even reactions to
monotone quiet or monotone loud.
Do you know who he is, Cassie? This is a very specific reference, Cassie, but like, do you know who he is? Mike, after a full night of karaoke trying to sing Taking Back Sunday. And it's like, he's got that, it will never leave this register, but this is how my voice sounds now. That's him this entire episode.
Deep cut for our friend group.
Even Mike, you could see there's emotion behind the eyes.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he's wanting to give you more. This guy not wanting to give you
What?
anything more.
What if AI wrote so ChatGPT wrote a mic program where it was only like he's saying Taking Back Sunday for 4 hours, but was also doing the robot the entire time he was acting? Is that Eddie Thawne?
That's Eddie Thawne.
I don't know if me or Eddie should be more insulted right now.
Mike, let me just tell Denny's with you after a night of karaoke is exactly like this. I mean, like, where is my
No life let me.
I've never had breakfast before. I want my breakfast.
You took my breakfast, and I sacrificed my last meal for you.
To the server, you say, this could have been our breakfast.
Give me your daughter, who should be my daughter.
It felt like it was weird emotions because they brought back this dude who I was like, this seems like a big character. This seems like it should be a big moment. And just nothing was really paying off for it. Is he as big of a character? Or was it kind of like a...
He
was-
in the first season, when I was like into the show, he was a big character.
Yeah, he was Iris's fiance.
Okay.
And he did die. He was the original Firestorm. It was him and Stein, Mr. Deo
Oh,
himself.
shit, I didn't
before it was
remember that.
Jax. And what else? What else am I thinking
But
about
like the
him?
whole thing of that, like how Iris was destined to be with Barry, and he knew that as part of their relationship. That's hard. That's rough.
He always was like, hey, it's Barry. Like knowing Barry's like, she's kind of my sister, but I love her.
It's just like this whole season we've been like, they're bringing back some wild people. Like, when are the big hitters going to be here? And they've pulled out some strings. They made some real bullshit to be like, this dude came back from life.
Cassie, I can't think of anybody who was wilder, but I wanted to see least than this person.
Yes. And I'm sorry, I have to correct myself. He was not half of Wildstorm. That was Caitlyn's dead fiance. Robbie Amell,
Right.
Stephen Amell's brother, was half of
Arrow's brother.
A lot of fiancés died in that first season.
Mike,
Savage.
they go back to 2049. Is that not Marvel's number? Year? Is that number or 2099? That's
They're
Marvel's.
2099.
Okay.
2049 is anybody's game. I love that everybody looks exactly the same. Maybe you have a streak of gray hair.
So 2049, which is 25 years from now.
Yes.
Chester P. Runk, and I understand you got that name, you got that look.
name.
Does not look a single day older.
Him and Allegra, they try to change everybody else a little, but him and Allegra, they're like, come on. We don't care.
Nobody cares
And they even,
about them.
it's so weird because one of the characters, Cecile, shows up and talks about how she looks the same.
Yeah, it's because
And
they
she
did.
is 20 years older than her. She has like extra little crow's feet, and that's it. But you can't talk about one of the characters who look exactly the same when literally all of your characters look exactly the same, fools.
You fools. We did have, as we mentioned before, there was a lot of Nora in this one because Nora is helping while Barry is in the future or in space or some shit.
He's at the Watchtower, and for like DC comic heads, that's fun because that's the JLA.
He's part of the Justice
satellite-
League, Cassie.
Yeah,
Okay,
satellite
okay.
space station.
He's with
But
other
they could get
characters
back and forth.
named Superman and Batman. Ever heard of them?
Heard of him?
Fucking lit.
Maybe
Heard of
Kyle
them?
Rayner.
No.
Yeah, that's a rough one.
He's the second.
You started with Superman, Batman, gotcha, like obvious ones, and then
next
you're
Kyle
Kyle
Rayner.
Kyle.
His superhero name, Kyle Rayner.
He was the artistic Green Lantern.
But they had this character have the moment where like she can play a bad character, like she had two characters going on essentially because she gets taken over by the negative force, which of course makes her evil, and it was just kind of like her playing evil. I hate to like mediocre. It's mean, but like mediocre.
She's
Like,
mediocre.
It's mean, but and maybe we've said this on other episodes before about the Flash, but like I feel like that over the last 10 years, I understand what the CW acting bar is. Like, I know what I'm looking for. She is bad. And again, for
She's
some
one of
reason,
the
I'm blaming the
worst.
writers, which is so unfair because they're on strike right now. They need all the support that they can get.
Not these ones. I support all the writers on strike except for the 3 people who are working on the Flash still.
Separate the 3 on this one.
I can't tell what's worse when she's acting like the good guy or acting like the bad guy. Like, it's terrible. And then there's one point where somebody brings out a stone in their hand, and her face is in it, and then she just winks. Her face is in the stone, and she winks, and it is the worst wink I've ever seen. Like, top 5 worst winks. If we're going to do that as a segment, I know who my number 1 is.
I think about 5 years ago, this became very Power Rangers-like, but this episode specifically was the most... Rita Repulsa is a better actor than anybody we saw here. When the future, we're in the 2049 and they're all superheroes and they have costumes like they never had before, they all forgot to act. They all got hit in the head with a baseball bat, and they were going to take down fucking... the putties. It was absurd. They don't care. Let these people free.
Like the Power Rangers, at least like when the acting wasn't as great, there was action to keep you. There was explosions. There was nothing to keep you here.
What's going to happen to Angel Grove?
How about this shit? I'm watching late era X-Men the Animated Series, and that acting is better than anything I saw on tonight's episode.
There was also like... The editing was weird. I didn't understand, and maybe it's a comic book thing, but the fact that they kept putting a rose up on the screen,
dude, no.
faded out rose.
That was like somebody fell asleep watching a like David Lynch DVD, right? Like they fell asleep watching Blue Velvet, and they were like, "Well, wouldn't this be cool if an unexplained flower was just in your face 3 or 4 times?"
What if the character Chester P. Runk got to edit this episode of The Flash?
But that would have been awesome if at the end it said edited by Chester P. Runk, big letters in the middle of the screen.
So you're telling me this was focused on so much, and you're telling me there's no purpose for this?
No. I mean,
beautiful.
Cassie, you know that me and Mike are, in our infinite film wisdom, are 2 of the greatest film geniuses of all time. Nothing. Just insanity.
Love it.
It was bring your nephew to work day, and that kid made some decisions.
So I guess and this was the penultimate. This was the
yeah.
That's
I was bummed. I was flabbergasted because I thought this was the finale, and I was like, "What the shit? The Flash isn't in the Flash finale?" And then I was like, "Oh no, what the shit? We're doing this for the main event again next week."
God damn it! And we have it seems like it ended on this cliffhanger of us not knowing if Thawne is going to take over this negative force so he could take back his life, get the love of his life, become the hero and everything. And it's supposed to be dramatic, and I don't have it in me.
Well, no, I mean, in his time off, learning how to act and react and unact, he gets upset and he screams at Iris that I will fuck up you, Barry, and everything you both love, and then sprints out of Iris's apartment while still staring at Iris. So making eye contact, but running in a different way.
What if he just slammed it into the wall?
Because we don't all have Speed Force, bro.
He yelled that because she said, "Nah, I'm gonna stay with my husband of 40 years at this point." And he was like, "Well, fine, I'll burn the world."
I'm gonna go door to door in a neighborhood that I know to be full of married spouses, and I'm just gonna knock on the door, see if one of them will hook up with me, and if not, I'm gonna scream that and run away as I'm screaming,
staring at them.
It's like after he looks at all the photos of them together too, he's like, "What a happy life you guys have built. Could be me though. Have you thought about that?"
It's just that the guy who's playing, what's his name? Thawne? Eddie Thawne.
Thawne.
Eddie.
It's like, "Oh, you want to bring me back? That's cool. Let me read through the script." What? No. I don't want to do this.
And he showed it. It feels like they put in his contract in season 1, "Hey, no matter what you're doing in life, we can bring you back and use your character however we want, and you cannot escape this."
What is the big bad for next episode? Next episode, by the way, is what we're covering next week.
No, I know.
Oh, we know, Ryan.
It's him as the negative Speed Force, I guess.
Yeah, it's got to be.
Because I feel like Cecile as a virtue, call me a virtue now, punched the Speed Force or the negative Speed Force out of Nora.
Yeah. So now it's going to be in Thawne.
Thawne's time. It's such a bummer because there were so many things of like, use your power, like your emotional power to connect to him and stuff. And I swear to God, if there's not a big battle and it's all just like, here's a fucking speech to get the negative force out of you, which it's gonna be. Ooh, guys,
Gonna be.
I'm not looking forward to it.
I'm so excited for this to be done.
But like, is there a chance that the next episode is like a quality hour of television?
Well,
in what universe?
I would say, being the one who gets hoodwinked the most by The Flash, in the beginning of this season, I was like, I watched it and went, I don't know, guys. The Flash, I don't know. And then I'm sorry that 18 times have you had to tell me, no, buddy, don't let it pull you in.
But like, if we had timed it better, we could have done this episode of X-Men with next week's episode of The Flash. Mm-hmm. So like, this is a bad episode, but you got me. Is there any way that The Flash does that?
No, I think they've burnt so much goodwill, and none of the characters we cared about, even the ones that are left, aren't them. Like, Keown has been around half of this seat. Like, who cares about... Chill Blaine was in this episode more than Barry Allen. Chill Blaine
had one of the moments of the week where he was like...
the moment of the week.
Should I not say it yet?
Say it. We're transiting.
It's moment of the week time. Go for it.
I got sucked into that fucking thing, that fucking negative Flash. But I loved Barry so much it didn't matter. I just loved him.
He gave me so many second chances. Yeah, bro. A couple of those were like 3 weeks ago, and you were trying to literally kill him. What are you talking about?
And you hated him because of it. He was straight up. He was like, and every day I thought about how much I loved that guy. And I was like, what?
Just like Thawne went to Iris and said, hey, be with me. I think Chill Blaine's about to say that to Barry.
Oh, that's adorable, though.
I would be here for it. The Flash, do it.
And then Barry's like, no, I don't really like you. You're like one of my friend's ex-boyfriends, I think. And then he's going to run out of the room, turn his head turned around his shoulders, staring at Barry the whole time.
I would just love if fucking Thawne, like Eddie Thawne's whole thing the entire time was like, I will not say anything to you until I'm running out of the room while saying it to you. That's just his thing.
It's just his character choice. It's what he's doing now. All right, you guys, that was it for this episode of The Flash. It is Wednesdays on the CW. You can watch the final episode of this whole thing with us next week because we will be covering it. Let's talk about some websites, though. Mike, you got any new website ideas rattling around in that head of yours?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, bro.
SherbertNips.org.
Nope.
Summers are coming, and you know what you want. You want refreshing sherbet, and you want those nips out. Why not combine the two?
Explain. What does that mean?
I think I said it all, Cassie, but if I must, I can keep going.
Now,
I'm just worried. Like, are you dipping the nips in the sherbet?
Yeah,
so they're like fun
It's a bit of a nip dip.
I think we have a question, Mike. Are these frozen nipple-shaped treats that you could pop into your mouth and you know that they taste like nipples? Or are these nipples that people own, their own nipples that produce sherbet for you to suck upon during the hot summer day?
I don't know if I've ever thought about owning nipples, but I feel like we more coexist, my nipples and I. But yes, it's we've created a genetic modification based on
AI
technology from it's ChatGPT, Cyberdyne Industries, technology from Jurassic Park. We've created how to. You have nipples. Can you sherbet me? Yes, Robert De Niro. Yes, we can. And you can.
It's based on that fake conversation that you had in your head.
It's a real conversation I had in my head.
All had that conversation, Ryan.
And so, yeah, pick your flavor. We inject you. We just put you in the tube, shoot some rays. Now you got plum sherbet coming out of your nips.
The flavor I pick is nipple flavored. Mike?
You guys got nip flavor?
Are still working on that because right now it kind of tastes like those orange peanuts that are better as doorstops. Circus peanuts.
Yeah, delicious.
But that does taste nipply to me.
Hate it. What's the best flavor you're working with right now?
I mean, I'm a guava guy. And everybody knows that about me.
Guava nips all the way.
Guava nips is what they called me in middle school, and I made them rue that.
Hey, Mike, I've always wanted to suck on nipples that taste like my nipples. Do you have that?
That I perfected first, actually, is the delicious cold flavor of Ryan Nips.
He's just waiting for the people to demand it, and then he can release it for the world. It's
They're
his
so-
own stash.
Mine are
Well,
so
for
tiny though.
For every but the flavor is not.
No.
The flavor is not tiny at all.
The site lasts for seconds. The flavor lasts for days.
The strange mix of salty and sour
Yeah.
that are Ryan's nipples.
All right, boys' night. It's happening.
Boys' night.
And it's important to note that instead of some chest hair, I have a little pubic hair that comes out of my nipples. So is any of that in there?
Just the flavor. We couldn't quite get the essence down yet.
Uh-huh.
And you're right, Ryan. That is so important. Thank you so much for bringing that
But
up.
you guys ever know those people who have like no chest hair but some pubic hair on their nipples?
I do, yeah. It's a medical condition. Pubechestitis.
I think that I might have pubechestitis.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you do.
It's brave of you to announce here. Well, Mike.
I think I announce it on every show, and I'll say it next week.
Just in the way he says anything, you can tell.
I'm gonna help you out, Mike, because I know you're working on getting all these flavors right. You don't got time to build a website.
I'm a scientist first.
Yeah, science first, website second, and that's the opposite for cybersprout.net. They do everything with websites.
Really?
Bro.
Websites first, science second? That's cool of them.
Cybersprout.net's motto. And that's because they offer premium hosting that's specifically built for WordPress. They handle security, maintenance, backup, speed optimization. They even migrate your website for free. They focus on collaboration. They love sherbety nips. So jump on over to your friend cybersprout.net. That is it for that. Coming up next.
Now, hold on, Cassie. I think that, first of all, do they have a website for pubechestitis? First of all.
They will help you make it. I can't promise that
They
it's
don't.
like...
Yeah, they don't just make websites, Ryan. They help you.
They're not
help
like
yourself.
cold calling, like, I think this needs to be a website. It's like if you have the idea, they make it happen.
Okay, and second of all, Mike, Cassie was talking pretty fast. Did she say, I have sherbety nips slow enough where we can make that a drop?
Cassie, say it again.
You'll never catch me on this trap. Coming up next, pull list.
Wow, way to avoid the trap of Cassie, say that again.
We are back for the pull list where we talk about all the other shows we watched this week. First show starting it off is Riverdale.
On this week's episode of Riverdale, the Riverdale Bulldogs need to win a high school basketball championship in order to save the town. Archie and his uncle go to recruit a Smallville farm boy with powers named, all together,
Clark Kent.
Reggie Mantle. No, Clark Kent is not in this show. Reggie Mantle. The problem, as far as everyone in Riverdale is concerned, is that motherfucker has a Korean mom.
Oh, because we're in the 50s still.
And is therefore he's dog shit. Meanwhile, Veronica puts the full court press on every dude in town with the pickup line, I own a theater. Taste buds, I ask you this. Is Riverdale the show that is best suited to deal with race?
I can't think of a show that could handle it with more nuance and gentle thoughtfulness than Riverdale.
They're
I
like,
trust no one else.
we will treat this half Korean person the best. And that is by calling him whatever the Korean word of N-word is the entire show.
Fun.
Yeah.
They did?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know what that is.
Did
But like,
they Riverdale it up? Did they call him like, what was it, Jingle Jangle?
Jingle
Like they called him some sort of nonsense?
they called him South Jingle Jangle. It was terrible. But no, they would fill his locker with rice and say, is that enough rice for your family to eat? Things like that.
Well, I mean, that's not Riverdale the show doing it.
They're speaking on it. You know?
Right. That's what they're doing, is they're dealing with race. And then finally, Archie, when the Blossom Boy is going to pass to Reggie Mantle, says, here, take the ball, Banana Boy. Which
What's that mean?
Why?
I think is a Korean, I guess is a Korean insult.
Mm-hmm.
Archie knocks him the fuck out.
Oh, I
And
thought Archie said it for some reason.
No.
Okay.
Archie punches him the fuck out and says, look, all of us are bothered by the fact that this person is Korean, but we have to get past that. So I think even in their dealing with it, they're not really.
Fucking Riverdale.
I would love to know what writer pitched that line and their reasoning.
He's like, no, he's the best at basketball. And that's good enough for us, right?
Wow, Riverdale.
There's this time in the 50s has been a journey. They're trying to do so much here, and I don't know how it's all going to work for them.
That's how I'm going to offend you now. But here's how I'm going to offend you later. Veronica puts the full court press on everybody in the town, including a gay guy. The gay guy that is a normal character, regular character. What's
Kevin
his name?
Keller?
Kevin Keller's like, hey, Veronica, maybe back up a little bit because I'm with him. And Veronica is delighted to find out that this person is not a prospect. She just loves to have two gay buddies, and she loves the fact that, oh my God, now I have two gay friends, and talks about it incessantly. Is that even more offensive? Like,
That tracks.
I thought we were past that as well, of these white bitches being like, I love gay friends.
That feels very 90s to me.
Uh-huh.
And why? What are you doing, Riverdale?
It's 90s, but it's so deeply ingrained in the blood, you guys. They gotta get your gay best friend.
I love how this 2023 show is commenting on the 50s as if it was the 90s. That's awesome.
And it means something.
But she does have a movie theater, so, I mean... There's...
Oh, at one point she says, hey, this gay guy, I think his name is Clay. Hey, Clay, you probably want to know me. My name is Veronica. I own the movie theater. Yes, I own my own businesses. That's sort of
Hell
undeniable.
Fucking yeah.
Boss ass bitch.
Boss.
Bitch.
Should we go to moment of the week?
Yeah, Cassie, my moment of the week is where Jughead takes Tabitha to the movie theater, despite the fact that they are a white and black couple. That's fucking crazy. But he orders one of every single candy. Hundreds of candies. And it's not like Kit Kat, it's all Skit Skat, because this is Riverdale world.
Yeah.
He orders hundreds of things. And then 2 jokes back to back. One, he orders all of them and then looks at Tabitha and says, would you like anything?
Nailed it.
Boom.
Hilarious. And then Veronica says, that'll be 65 cents.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Woo.
Come on,
She
guys.
owns the theater
Woo.
and she's working the counter? Come on.
Oh, she's also working the counter.
Again,
And she is working it.
boss ass bitch. Riverdale's Wednesdays on the CW. Our next show is Fear the Walking Dead.
Boo.
Guys, wait, hold on, hear me out on this. On the season 8 premiere of Fear the Walking Dead,
8.
we jump 7 years into the future and meet a little girl named Rin who is in a camp ran by a dude named Padre and being raised to be a stone-cold walker killer. One day, Rin finds that Madison locked up in a room who turns out to be her mother, only she doesn't remember because Padre brainwashed her. In the end, Madison escapes and takes Rin with her. Taste buds, I ask you, do you wish somebody would have taken you away from a dude named Padre?
I wish somebody took me away from a dude named my father. How about that? Because he was so like, oh, I'm going to nurture you and I'm going to raise you.
Who does
Raised to
that?
be a killer.
Who the fuck does that? But guys, the reviews are saying they think Fear the Walking Dead is on track with this season. They think it's going to be a good one.
This is the one. This is the one.
They think it's going to be it.
Two things. One, that it's season 8, horrifying.
Whew.
2, that Madison, I think, was gone from season 3 to 7.
Yeah.
And they're just like, nah, she's a main character again. Fuck it.
She's been in this basement, apparently.
Can we just say, like, pinky swear right now? Let's just say, hey, Caitlin, all of us are watching it this week.
Yes.
Let's
so
just
good.
do this next week.
And then be like, every week. No. I know we fooled you last week.
This week we're doing it. It's going to be good.
Can we do that for 2 half seasons?
Absolutely.
Yes, we can.
She'll be down. Fear the Walking Dead is Sundays on AMC. Our next show is Sweet Tooth.
On the 4th episode of Sweet Tooth, as Big Man reckons with his sins of the past, Gus becomes a target for anger and suspicion. Ronnie's misgivings multiply, and Becky begins basic training. Meanwhile, General Abbott makes an example of Gus. Dr. Singh obsesses over his research ahead of an important presentation, and Becky crosses paths with a frenemy. Taste buds, I ask you this. That fucking antler. I don't... look, we made fun of the people who thought that Rocket Raccoon's surgery last week, like that was a big deal. Losing that antler was so hard for me.
Gus lost an antler because he
That's
gouged
so sad.
somebody with it.
Yeah.
That is hard. Was he awake during it?
Yes, they took a saw to his antler,
Oh.
which
Does
is
that
like
hurt?
that part I actually don't know, but it's like taking a part of like, oh, you're too this cultural, you're like this too much of a race for me, so therefore I'm going to take it away.
Both of them or just one?
Just one, cut one clean off,
Shite.
which is almost worse.
Yeah.
Maybe taking the second one off.
Is that fucking General Abbott?
Yes, it was General Abbott.
Is his
Fuck that
accent
guy,
still
bro.
changing every time he talks?
It is. There was a lot of that in these two.
And his brother is just American? Have they gotten into that?
Well, yeah, because General Abbott went to the School of Bad Guy Talk. Yes? We
Yeesh.
talk like this some of the time, and then sometimes we talk like normal, and then we talk like this. It's like Jiminy Glick if he was a supervillain.
And his brother is just a goofus with a heart of gold and a voice of an angel that we found out at dinner.
A couple of things I want to point out that are important to you two knuckleheads. What's his Billy? What's the little gopher name?
Bobby.
Bobby. Bobby got his necklace cut off. Bobby made it out to the freedom. Bobby made it out to the freedom when it was raining, and then looked up to the rain, and they Shawshanked the fucking show.
Because he came through a tunnel?
Because
Little
he
Bobby
came through a
Shawshank?
tunnel. Yes.
Little Bobby Shawshank came around the house again for you.
So this show is a big thumbs down for me.
Oh
do.
no, you didn't like that?
No, I didn't like that.
Ryan
Casey.
hates
I didn't like
Shawshank.
that.
Oh.
Did he crawl through Muppet poop to get there?
Dr. Addy and his wife went to dinner with General Abbott. They had strawberry milkshakes. They were made from powder, and the milkshakes were disgusting. I don't know what else you want me to report from this, from being on the front line here.
We're getting that the strawberry milkshakes were disgusting. How did General Abbott handle that when the Sings told him that, Ryan?
He didn't like it. He thinks of them as like basically between red glassed folk and animal people, hybrids.
It is crazy how little he's known about science, and he keeps screaming at Singh to do science better, even though General knows nothing about science.
Is that crazy, Mike, as an American?
No, it makes so
No.
much sense.
That's how it works.
Do it the way I want you to do it. I don't know how to do it, but do it. Do what I say.
Ronnie, I think is her name, Dr. Singh's wife, has become a main character, and maybe the only good person on this show.
Oh damn.
Better than Gus?
Yeah, fuck Gus, man. He
Better
lost an
than
antler. He's out of
Bobby?
here. Yeah, no, Bobby can fucking suck rocks. Bobby pulls out, before he does his Shawshank, he pops out of the dirt and does a Caddyshack. Like, he is knocking off all of the most overrated movies I've ever seen in my life.
What else are you gonna do when you have a full fucking puppet gopher? What else?
I guess go for an American Beauty. I don't know, Cassie.
Yeah, he's just going to
Perfect.
be feathers all over, feathers. Flower feathers is what I call petals. All over his little chest.
Ryan, weren't they close to a cure? Isn't there a cure like that we're close to here or no?
Yeah, so Dr. Singh came up with the cure, and then General Abbott took it away and said, no
fun.
more of that.
Oh, he does not want a cure.
He
I
does
thought
not
he
want a
wants
cure.
it.
No, because
then he like
this is how he's in power, is to keep it uncured.
Man, this
And he
guy
calls
sucks.
he calls in the three heads of the other states, the three other General Abbotts. One is like a kung fu person, one
Oh,
is
God.
a hippie person, and the other is an Asian Texan cowboy person. And Mike, this is an Asian lady
Uh-huh.
who's in charge of shit.
Uh-huh.
Like she's a principal.
Uh-huh.
Like she could be a principal in this world and in other worlds. like
Gotcha.
Newport Harbor.
Really?
Yes, it is Dr. Kim. She is played by one Dr. Kim
Nice.
from the show The OC.
I love it. Gotta love an OC report.
It's been a while since we've had one. I'm glad it was Sweet Tooth that brought it to us. Any other big moments? It's just Bobby who's out now. The kids are still trapped, but Bobby is a free little gopher.
Well, and then Gus found freedom, and instead of like running away and being free, he interrupted the speech that General Abbott was giving to the three other heads of the family. He just walked in the middle and he was like, "Hey, fuck all you bitches. I'm Gus. I got one antler and I don't give a shit about anything." And it was pretty dope. Cassie, there's no moment of the week that's better than Gus being like walking sort of like to the side because he's, a little less heavy. Yeah. There's an antler missing and just being like, fuck all y'all. And then they see that. They're like, we didn't know that they were babies that could talk. That's fucked up. And General Abbott was like, no, that's what makes it so fun is that they're babies who can talk.
That is crazy because they're like, I heard one of them could talk when all of them, including Bobby, talk. Like, and the ones who don't talk are doing complicated sign language, and the guards are like, "Oh, one can talk."
They're also immediately screaming about their plan to escape as soon as they take a step away. Like, it's always unreal. Love those kids.
Love those crazy kids.
Love those crazy kids. Can't wait to see what else they come up
Also,
to.
one more moment of the week. Dr. Kim from the OC says to General Abbott, "Oh, you want their resources?" Speaking about the other two leaders. "Oh, we can take them." And then she's like, she snaps her fingers. And then a bunch of gunmen come out and just mow down the entire thing. But you don't have those resources now. Like, you killed the leaders. You don't know where
they are.
But you have no idea how to control those resources.
Look, she was just a hoity-toity principal. She doesn't know how war works, man.
Look, man, that is super dope when you snap your fingers and people come out of limos and gun people down. But you don't have those resources.
You got to plan better.
Sweet Tooth is on Netflix. That is it for the pull list. Coming up next, you guys, it's X-Taz. Welcome to the final X-Tasmania bitch, a mini show within a show where we take an in-depth, episode-by-episode look at Fox's seminal and underrated early morning soap opera from the mid-90s, X-Men the animated series. This week we watched Graduation Day, and it is the one that ends it all for us. But before we get to there, we open up to an anti-mutant rally that has the biggest screen I have ever seen, you guys.
This is so important. Like, this is our final thing. But, like, when this started, were you guys like, is this the right one? Or have I seen this episode
absolutely
7 million times?
They've used this opening, just a different guy. Also, we've met Guy Ritchie. I swear they draw Guy Ritchie in a different way every time we see him.
Like, suit, always that kind of off maroon red. That's the only way to indicate him. And he'll be screaming about mutants.
But even in Trump's America, I was thinking, like, is the audience not tired of this fucking spiel?
Shut up. Because this is not Graydon Creed, who we think his father, Sabretooth, ate. Though this time Guy Ritchie looked a lot like Graydon Creed. I feel like when they drew it, they forgot which anti-mutant guy they were using.
It was like... It did have that feeling because I was like, it's Graduation Day. Like, I didn't know what this episode was, but I didn't think it was going to be starting here at all.
I like that they're like, well, we named it for us. There's nothing about Graduation Day. Also, because I was like, well, they're all adults except for Jubilee. What does this title mean at all?
Well, did you guys do any research? Does anybody know? Like, did they know this was it when they wrote it or animated it?
I don't know.
It seems like they did.
Yeah.
And I know that X-Men 97, the Disney Plus thing, starts with Magneto as the head of the school.
Right.
So it feels like they sort of knew, but maybe not.
It wasn't an anti-mutant rally. I think it's like the floor of the Senate or something. And this guy is trying to... Because I don't think Xavier would just be at an... Like, he just rolls out and is like, I'm so weak. But you're wrong. Mutants are great. I didn't realize... that nobody knew Xavier was a mutant. Yeah.
I know. Look at those eyebrows. What non-mutant person would have those eyebrows?
Look at his floating ass wheelchair made out of gold.
But
They're just like, that's a normal ass dude if I've ever seen one, and he just hangs out.
Professor X is screamed at the ultimate conservative line, which is normal-looking people who defend mutants are mutants themselves. That is the conservative party currently today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and also there's Guy Ritchie is putting forward the mutant containment bill, and Xavier's like, you're gonna just treat them like they're POWs. Mutants are usually the victim. I was like, how is it so prescient? How did you get this right?
God.
Oh, it's probably from previous human history.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
You know
I
how that
forgot.
works.
You know how some guy said the arc of justice is long, but it points towards hope? I know he was smart and he gave a lot of good speeches, but that's fucking dumb. And
Was that
he's
Bruce
wrong.
Wayne?
It was Bruce Wayne speaking through Martin Luther King. And it's wrong. He's wrong. We're trash. Humanity's trash.
You know what? Let the mutants take over, bro. It's time for an update.
They do have at this rally after this meeting when Xavier, after he talks, what's the dude's name?
Guy Ritchie.
Guy Ritchie shoots him with this little device thing, and it hurts Xavier's head, so he just sends out like a little beam to everyone. I don't know. It
He
all
gives
goes
everybody
poorly.
ice cream headaches.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
no, what was that, Mike? Was it a mutant power exemplifier or
It seemed like it. Like, oh, you think you're special? I can shoot this at you, and you'll do your power so hard.
because I couldn't tell that if then Professor X was stopping Cyclops and Beast from coming into the room, don't do anything yet, or if it was just ah!
No, yeah, he odd because the whole room was grabbing their head, oh no, oh no.
In really great animation.
Oh, it's so good.
Nailed it.
I love the new look. I love that for the last 4 episodes they changed the look
Every time.
at different times, slightly worse.
While he's having this bad head time, he does, of course, do the classic, guys. He fell out of his chair again. They gave it to us one last time. Shout out to them.
Maybe a good argument to not be in a floating chair if you fall out of it as much as Xavier does.
They gave us
Wheels
so
on
many
the ground.
highlights,
Go round and round.
just like a bus. But we have Xavier out of a chair. We have Beast trying to be incognito, which is always just a trench coat, no shirt, and a hat.
Tiniest
Love it.
hat you
Raphael.
could possibly a hat that covers literally none of your blue fuzzy head.
Nothing. You're clearly still the Beast.
Logan smells Xavier and is like, he's dead.
Yeah.
Which I assume that means Xavier pooped his pants, and that's why Logan knows that immediately.
Oh, I thought the end of your thought was Logan smells.
And
why?
and Logan smells and nobody's talking about it.
You guys are trying to go incognito, but Logan smells.
Logan
So what is
still
even the
That's
smells
point?
like
so
a
bad.
beauty. But
yeah.
Logan's like he's dead, and Beast is like, though your sense of smell is quite sharp.
Shut the
once
fuck
you are
up,
wrong."
Frazier. Can we please mourn our fallen leader? Morning.
He
So,
doesn't. He's
So-
not fully dead yet, is what we find out,
Not
because they
dead
get him
yet.
back to the not dead. They bring him back to the mansion, but they figure out that there's nothing they could do for him. The only way they can help him is to connect to Lalandra, but Xavier is the only person who can do this. So now they're fucked.
Because it would take Jean 9 months to send mind signals. I love this shit.
to the Shi'ar. By the way, they all decide this over a kitchen block conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And Rogue is leaning over that kitchen block I have not seen Rogue animated like this in a long time, guys.
I knew we were going to mention it. It still isn't the horniest she's been drawn. It wasn't
No.
No.
That's the part where Apocalypse throws her to the ground.
Yes.
Burned into my brain.
And that's the part that I always compare it to. I was like, they did still give her a booty, but they didn't pop off as much as they have. So, but besides her booty doing all the work, we do have the mutants over in Genosha.
Everywhere, really.
Everywhere.
We go through every single place a mutant is, and we see everybody from the past.
Like Sunspot, is it Sunspot and Wolfbane? Is that
Wolfsbane.
Wolfsbane are arguing about what to do. Xavier's attacked, and Sunspot's like, let's kill them all. And
Yeah.
Wolfbane's like, well, that's not what Xavier is about.
So this is where we get to our episode of Succession, where Wolfsbane's like, well, case by case basis. I don't know what to do. And Sunspot's like, no, we need our leader. Who's our leader? Magneto. Lead us. Lead us.
I
Not
think
even
you mean if it's Succession, he goes, so what? We're gonna fuckity fuck and up the butt then, and what's the move?
But yeah, I love that thing of like, we don't know what to do. And so we just chant for our leader.
Yes.
Like whatever he says, we'll do because we have no other ideas.
Also, our leader, it just lives in a cave up at the top of a hill with like a little platform to come in that he walks out on every day, but doesn't say anything.
It's a good
You know,
thing.
Cassie, other things do that. They're called cuckoo clocks, right?
Yeah.
Like that's every 12 hours he comes out and he's like, hello, goodbye, and then goes back into the
Oh,
cave.
good. I'm late for dinner. I'm glad he came and did that.
They were literally just like, why doesn't he say anything? And I'm like, he's standing out there. You're telling me he never says anything? Like, what?
So I was like, shit, I forgot to write a speech again.
He's like, fuck, I
Back
gotta go
inside.
back in. I don't know what I'm gonna
Goodbye.
And while this is happening, we find out that there's mutant uprisings all around, and the 3 cities they mentioned that mutants have taken over completely are Tehran, Ensenada, and Duluth. Duluth, Minnesota.
say. Fucking Duluth, a big hit.
So I'm guessing 3 mutants live there and took it over.
It wasn't hard for him.
That would be awesome to be the one mutant in Duluth and be like, trash can knocked over. I'm king now.
I know all I got is furry. That's all I am. I got no powers. I'm just furry Woody Allen. But bitch, I'm the king of Duluth.
I run this shit.
Hold on, Mike. A furry Woody Allen would sound a little bit like what?
I just got so much hair.
We do have, because the mutants some are uprising, especially in Duluth. They're like, hey guys, we got to get this under control. But Xavier can't make a speech. He's the only one who kind of reaches through to people. So that's when our boy fucking Morph comes through, you guys. They're still in contact with him, and he is still down.
Not to go back to the classic King v. Malcolm X version of X-Men, but like this episode is sort of a pay into that of like leadership is all that matters.
Yes.
It's like as long as we put somebody in like the front of our plans, then we can do it. And it's not about whether they have the right idea or not. We just need somebody to be like, stop,
They got the look.
go. You know, like here is 3, 2, 1. Now we're going.
The smartest thing Morph ever did is not get in the floating wheelchair. He's in the classic like 1960s
Normal.
X-Men wheelchair and quilt Professor X look.
I'm so sorry. I tried to like lead the conversation away from Morph for 30 seconds.
Absolutely not. We will not stand for
away
it
from
here.
the dumbest character that this show is.
Mm-hmm.
But no,
that's
we're
not what Xavier says. He's a hero, even though he's fucked up.
A
I
fucking
quote,
hero. Even though you're a fucked up little monster, you're still a hero.
But we're back to Morph. Morph. The reason why this episode is terrible.
No, they gave us everything we needed in this final episode, including Morph. But the speech, mutants are still uprising. So at the same time, Cyclops figures out that all the mutants are going to Genosha, I believe. And so they're like, we got to get down there, but I don't know if we'll make it back. Wolverine, you down for this suicide mission, essentially? And I was like, I don't know why it's got to be a suicide mission, but okay.
No.
This is
they're done.
dramatic.
They're done and
It's
tired.
so tough.
It seems like you can kind of just get to Magneto and have a conversation with him, but fuck it, suicide mission.
And they're like, no, let's not tell the rest of our team.
Yeah.
Just
But
you
then-
and me, bro.
What happens, but like when they have this plan, is that somebody that lives there and works there, Jean Grey,
And is psychic.
walks in, yeah, and is psychic, and it knows what everyone is thinking. Walks in, and Wolverine's like, "What? What? Oh my god! How did you walk in here, Jean?"
She's like, hey, I'm his first student. I'm more powerful than all of you. I'm coming too, so it's not a suicide mission. And all it goes is, Gene.
But like, maybe don't be surprised by that. Like,
He's a true idiot.
she lives there.
Time.
I'm gonna do that with my wife from now on. Every time I'm in any room and she walks in, just like, ah,
Just throw your tray with tea all over it.
my croissant. She made me drop my croissant.
This is what, Wolverine's not doing good. He's like, he's like, hey, Scott, some reason into here. You can't let her go. And Scott's like, couldn't stop her if I tried. And I was like, why the fuck would you want to? Again, she could protect you guys.
Also, because Cyclops is classically the best dude, husband.
This was the one time where I
person.
was like, he's
Feminine.
actually
No.
not, fucking up here.
Couldn't stop her if I tried.
Ugh, God.
And she's the reason their stupid plan works.
Yeah. But they get there, they interrupt. Magneto's going to make his big speech, finally, and that's when the X-Men show up, so he shoots down their plane, and it seems like they have died, but they knew this was going to happen, so they jump out of the plane, of
Well,
course.
They had full-on Universal Studios tram ride bubble landing. Like, this was... They put themselves in a bubble, but like they made it as exciting as possible for that bubble to land. Like there was a point where all three of them were like, "Ow!"
And Wolverine, who cannot die, was like, "Took you long enough to catch me with your mind powers, Gene."
Shut the
Also-
fuck up, Wolverine. Just shut
He
the
should have
fuck.
slammed
just
his
shut
ass into the bottom of the
fuck up.
ocean.
He also, when he landed, made a big deal out of his hip hurting and shit. And I was like, we've seen you get thrown around so much, and you're going to be this much of a piece of shit when she caught you from falling out of a plane, bro. Like,
Because he's a loser and a cynic and alone in life and mean.
That was her ex she was singing about in that song?
Taylor Swift was repeating Professor X's final
Shut
speech.
up. After all of the Wolverine bitching about his hip and stuff, they go
Yes.
up and interrupt Magneto's speech, and he's just like, "I will kill you a second time. I do not care." And then Cyclops is like, "Xavier has hours left to live, bro." And Magneto crumbles.
he goes into his sad boy corner, monologues for a hot moment, and then comes back. He's like, okay, fuck it. I got to help you guys. That's my boy.
How many times does Magneto speak for more than 4 minutes without anybody else speaking? Because, guys, I was thinking Magneto more like monologuito. Am I right?
Nailed it.
Perfect.
Crushed
What is
it.
he, a podcaster?
But Cyclops walks out and says, "Hey, Magneto, we're here to talk." But that Shimmersheim, that red glare on his visor is like open. Like he's got trigger ready to pull.
Yeah, they have a little bit of a scuffle, and then it's just like, hey, bro's dying, so do you want to not?
Does
And-
Magneto throw metal cave-made furniture at them?
Yeah, I couldn't. Did he like hand coat all of the cave? And also, why did he make it look so shitty and only put in 3 pieces of furniture? If he's gonna go through all the
Because like that
to-
should have been a 6-piece, right?
Yeah, well, he
At
doesn't invite
least.
company up to the top of the Cuckoo Mountain.
But it's still like you can make it look nice for you instead of like spending the time to shittily coat everything in metal, and it's still there's only a couple pieces and
No.
it looks like garbage.
Not shittily coated metal. What I think is that he made incredibly handcrafted metal furniture and then shittily coated it in cave to make it look like cave.
So people don't know where the furniture is. It's all
Yeah.
an illusion.
Because they were caught unawares
Right.
by cave furniture attacking them, and that's because
trust
I think that it
rocks
was
now?
handcrafted, incredible, impeccable metal furniture covered in
He's-
cave.
He's got a talent. You're right. I'm sorry to disrespect him like that. But the fight does. They do stop fighting. They go back to the mansion.
Before, but in this little scuffle, Jean's like, his magnetism intensified my psychic field. You know, because
Yes.
psychic is magnets now.
You know how that works. Again, the 90s.
Oh man, Mike, we should have been screenwriters in a different era. It's like Mike, give me a line. Her brain waves are magnetized by psychic fields now. Oh, beautiful, buddy. I
Beautiful,
love
buddy.
Let's
it.
go
Nailed it.
smoke stogies.
And this is when she's like, hey, he's dying and you are literally the only person who could save him because you got this power to blast out brain power even further, which is exactly what I need to do to reach Landra. So they go back, they do that. But like just when they get to send out this signal, Charles gets like a little bit of life in him. It's still not looking good, but he gets enough to say goodbye to each of his precious little babies.
Can I ask
one
you guys
by
a question
one.
right now? Cassie, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah.
Everyone that you love is in front of you. Are you like, oh my God, I'm so glad that I get to tell everyone I love one last thing? Or are you like, oh my God, the pressure of having to come up with a different thing for each of these people?
And depending, like, you don't know who's going to show up in that moment,
Yeah.
which also happened to him. Like, he forgot about Beast for a second and then just threw a quote out to Beast. Like, he didn't give a
You're
fuck.
blue.
Dabadi.
Dava die.
And-
As a weird.
What I like is it really solidified where he is with each person, because some people are like, my pupil, my student, blah, blah. And Storm is like, my beautiful friend. And you're like, oh, him
you're
and
so
Storm might have had a
gorgeous.
background that we didn't get into.
Yeah. Mike, what about you? Are you like, do you love this moment? Like, you're gonna make everyone remember
I
you? or
pretend
you're
to be dead until half of them leave so I can talk.
Mike's the kind of guy who draws X's on his eyes and then sticks his tongue out.
Oops, he's all dead.
And then whisper, I'm like, Ryan, tell me when most are gone.
Most. Tell me when most, but not all, are
Not
gone.
all. I want to make it dramatic for a couple of these fucks. But
But
yeah.
that would deprive you, like, Mike, you were my beating heart. I love you so much. You were my inspiration. You were my everything. Cassie, you were...
In my life for a
Fine.
while, too.
Cassie, you were so fine.
It was
You're so
great
fine.
that you were there.
You blow my mind. Hey, Cassie. Hey, Cassie.
It would be an honor to me.
Really, if I turn it into a Hey Mickey song, that you...
Absolutely.
My dying moments.
I hope that for our friendship.
Come on. No, actually, I'm talking myself into it. That would be dope as shit.
That'd be
That's true
so
to life.
good.
That's great.
If Professor X could barely raise his gray hands to say, and Nightcrawler, you were so fine. You blew my mind. Hey, Nightcrawler. Hey, Nightcrawler. I already know the answer from Cassie because Cassie is made of stone and has no emotion. But Michael, did this episode make it dusty in the room?
Not most of the episode, right? But this
No.
This portion, it was a pendulum between, oh man, we're really saying goodbye, and like, fuck, this is long. He's gonna do this for everybody, and then just kept swinging between those two.
The
things.
19th mutant. I was like, oh my god.
Oh, random.
Like
I think you were a
Morph got one, I
background.
think.
Yeah, Morph was the one. He's like the one where he's like, hey, even though you've mostly been a piece of shit coward, you really pulled it out at the end, man.
And boom boom. You make your powers go boom boom.
In my
I'll never
pants.
forget that.
Where's
did
Big
have-
Ears?
Was it Scott's that got you guys? Or was it just Ryan?
No, yeah, Scott's and Jeans were both like, oh fuck, he meant these ones.
Like
The rest were
real-
trash.
Yeah.
Wolverine's was mostly like throwing shade.
Yeah, Wolverine, he
You
was like, look,
vile, animalistic loner.
you were a bitch when I met you.
You stayed a bitch while I knew you.
Now you're just a piece of shit. Storm, carry my spittle onto his face so he can feel that.
But I think Jubilee, Storm, Scott, and even Gambit. Gambit was the one I was just like, oh, damn, Professor. I hate
Gambit's was
Gambit.
weirdly touching, and I was like, he's barely ever there. Like, what?
Yeah, he's normally
Oh,
stinking
and-
some bar up.
I saw it coming. Like the second he started it, I knew what he was going to say. But
Yeah.
rogues of like, you could never touch anyone, and yet you've touched all of us.
Nailed it.
Come
So
on.
good.
And he like wrote that down years ago. He's like, well, that's a fucking gimme.
I gotta remember this one. So he says goodbye to all of them. Scott's is a real like, let's fix your daddy issues moment.
Yeah.
Like,
It
if
says-
only I could be your father or some.
It says goodbye to Strong Guy. Says, your name is Guido. That's your real name.
Go back to Jersey Shore.
But your hero name is Strong Guy. You
Where's
touch me on both parts of but the creativity of your real name and your X-Men name. I love you so much.
Bring me the furry Woody Allen. I have things to say.
After he says all of his goodbyes, he passes away, and
Yeah.
that's when Lalandra shows up.
Second
they're
too
like-
late, Lily.
Like literally a couple seconds too late, and they're
Hey
like,
guys, wouldn't it have been amazing to watch an actual TV show where it was too late and she could not save him?
Yes.
Wouldn't that have been great?
I thought that was. I thought
Yeah.
she was going to say goodbye and like kiss his bald head.
I thought you were
But
going
no.
to say
Kiss his
goodbye and
bald
kiss his
dick.
balls.
Mike was a
Kiss
little
his
too
balls.
excited to be like, I wish he was gonna kiss that bald head.
Oh, the Laundra superpower is just kissing balls, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. And Laundra, you were always there to kiss the balls.
These nuts. Kiss the balls that feed you.
They'll always get to do that though, because he can only live. He does live on, but he can only live on with her because
In
alien
space.
technology.
And
We all
we're
get it.
literally saying, like, his casket gets put in the spaceship. And
yeah.
as he's flying away, he's like, also, Jubilee, bye! And, like, you can hear him go away. Goodbye.
He's like, hey, I might not be in here body with you guys, but my spirit is all around with you. I will always be with you. Deuces.
He said straight up to Jubilee, Jubilee, you're the future. But Alondra's mutant power is to kiss balls, and I have to leave.
You understand I have to leave now, right?
You might not understand now, Jubilee. You're too young. But in the
you'll
future,
know.
you will come to understand that her power is kissing balls.
And Papa has to go.
Papa Chow. Chow
Papa
Papa.
need it.
I've done my time here. Papa's got to go now. And that is it. That's the end of X-Taz, you guys.
We treated it with the respect it deserves. The Leewolds would be horrified how we talk about their baby.
They're the ones that created so many kissing balls characters.
That's true.
Oh, for the final time, we got to go through these awards. First one, always starting off.
Remember you.
Thank you. Let's set the mood. Most 90s thing. Ryan, what do you got?
Most 90s thing is Wolverine runs down to like somebody who's like Wolverine and Cyclops roll down to somebody who's about to die, and Wolverine's like, I got this, psych. And I thought he was faking him out. Like, I have this, but I don't. I have this, psych. But like he was just saying the Cyclops' nickname. Yeah, psych.
Yeah, for sure.
But in the 90s, that's what we would say. We'd be like, hey, I'm going to give you $100. Psych.
Psych.
What a fun
You
time
fell
the
for it,
90s
you
were.
idiot.
Mike, what do you got?
A remote that can do whatever you want. I don't know. We're not going to explain it, but here's a remote that does things. I made the one button. I don't need to explain what it is. It's this remote. It does what I needed to do.
We don't have the time to get into the lore about it. For most 90s thing, I do have, when we were cutting to all of the mutants, it just felt like very 90s X-Men to throw in a ragdoll dude to save so much money. No explanation. There's just a dude who is a ragdoll in the background because why not? It's something that looks different. Love it. Here for it. I am going to give that point to Mike, though, for random remote. Our next one is best gas blind. Mike, what do you got?
My greatest enemy, and perhaps my only friend, is how Magneto describes Charles when he finds out he's dying. What the fuck, you lonely bastard?
Well,
he
lives up in
knows
the
he has
cave.
enemies. He's not sure about any friends.
He has one, and he thinks he
And
hates the one.
He also fucking hates him so
I
much.
can relate.
Ryan, what do you got for best gas blind?
My gas line is when Wolverine is just standing there saying like, hey, we're going to do this job. And then Jean walks in to a room of a house that she lives in. And he's like, oh, Jean? I never knew.
Truly shocked that she would even dare step into this house that she lives at. For best gas blind, obviously, guys, the Morph reveal. The fact that we brought back Morph for the final episode. Gasp. Even though Ryan's being a little bitch, I'm still going to give the point to him out of the kindness of my heart because this is the last one. Do it the next time, Mike. It might get you a point. We'll see. Our next one is best use of power. Ryan, what do you got?
I guess Shi'ar technology, which like,
For kissing
oh
balls.
man, if we get them down here, then they will be able to do anything, whether that is kiss balls or not. It's obviously going to be kiss balls.
Mike, do you got kiss balls?
No, my best use of power is in your dying breath to be able to look a room full of people and be like, I know the perfect sentence to say to each of you. That is so impressive. But I think it's because he's psychic and he's just like, oh, I know. Here's what I need to say to you because that's what you're thinking. Here's what I need to say to you because that's what you're thinking.
How great would it have been though if there was like 4 or 5 more people than he thought, and it's just like you're cool, you're cool, you're cool, you're cool, you're cool.
You're cool. I'm out. Jerry Maguire'd him.
For best use of power, I do have the power to bring somebody back to life, but then have to keep them in space. Only half useful. Love it. I am gonna give that one to Mike though, because I love a petty bitch, and I love a petty bitch who's dramatic at the end. Our next one is LVP. Mike, what do you got for it?
I guess it's Wolverine who both declares Xavier's dead way before he is, forgets Jean lives with him, and freaks out, complains about his hip, and is just kind of a shit the whole time.
He really was a letdown on this one, which out of the whole crew, surprising.
There's one part where he's like, how are we going to get through this wall? And Wolverine's like, I know how. And puts a claw through it. And then a whole Cyclops blast comes through it. Like, you didn't do shit, Wolverine.
He kind of just marked the spot on a general cave that could have been anywhere.
No, right here. Could you blast right here?
Ryan, what do you got for LVP?
You know what I'm going to do? He's so dumb. He tries to make a good impression of Professor X. He can't even do that. What he definitely cannot do is laugh like a normal person. It's more
so Ryan
Salacious Crumb over here.
Ryan just don't care about points in this one. I see
Cassie, be for reals. Be for reals.
Love that fucked up little guy, Ryan. Love him.
Unbelievable.
For LVP, I do have Xavier for falling out of his chair once again, one more time for the real fans. He did it for us.
Did he say Cassie as he fell out of that chair?
This one's for her. She's gonna fucking love this shit. I am going to give that one to Ryan. You threw it away, dude. You know not to bring Morph to me, so it's obviously gonna go to Mike.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You know, Cassie, living with a morph, Mike, every day is a lot for me. Yeah, he only laughs like that.
And the deep, dark bags under my eyes are quite Morph-like.
I love that excuse. No, I'm just doing a morph impression. Don't worry about them.
He's fucking committed to it, and you got to respect the craft.
Yeah.
Our final one, MVP. Ryan, what do you got for it?
When Professor X is looking around that room and he's saying, hey, machine that keeps me alive, you were always a member of my family because you were like, beep, 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 beep. And he's like, hey, poster on the wall that says, we love you. That's a weird mutant power, bro, but I love how you can turn into a poster. I think that it proves that it's family. The MVP is family. We have Fast X coming out this week.
It's
we have
time.
Stands for Fast Xavier.
Finale of X-Taz this week. It's just family. Hey, X-Men, drink some Coronas. It's time to take a break.
God. Beautiful, Ryan.
Thank you.
Mike, what do you got for MVP?
I'm going to go more traditional and say it's Jean, possibly gaining MVP for the first time in her 5-year run. She walks in on idiots planning idiot shit and fixes it and makes it a real plan. She's the one who figures out Magneto can boost mental powers. She just crushes it left and right and reminds everybody why she's a boss.
She absolutely does. Nothing would have gotten done without her in this one. For MVP, I do have Xavier, though, for giving Scott the daddy issue healing that he needed, and everyone just making him feel like real champs on his way out. He's a real one for that.
Mike, Cassie's birthday is coming up. Is her birthday present that she's dying in a bed and all of her friends stand around her and she gives us one sentence about how awesome we are?
Yeah, I think hers would be what her greatest weakness is, or biggest insecurity before she dies.
Mike, you're stupid because you suck.
Oh, that's Ryan, what I've always been worried about.
Ryan, you're stupid because of your buck fucking teeth.
Look forward to that, you guys. It's going to be a great birthday. I am going to give that one to Ryan, though, because it is family. It's the end. It's got to come back to family. That ends our final wrap-up of X-Taz. Me, no points. Ryan, 2.
Me, no
Mike,
points.
3. Me, just no points at all.
Can we get like a sad violin cover of the X-Men theme song to play underneath right here?
Absolutely. You know they've already done it. As we say goodbye to it, you guys. It's the saddest thing I've ever had to do.
And I should probably make clear, Cassie, the next 6 weeks of shows are dedicated to saying goodbye to X-Men.
That's exactly the amount of time I'll need, at least.
I have so many thoughts, but I'm saving them all for next week when we can
finally
start to say goodbye.
I mean, listen, everybody knows how we do things here. We will drag it out as long as we can. So,
but no, like, we did a thing. The three of us did a thing. We watched them all.
All of them. And we had a great time. We built memories as a family together.
Don't cry. Don't keep it together.
That is the end of this episode, though. Which means it's time to plug things. And I got to kick you guys out for this segment because I just can't look at your guys' faces anymore. So
We're too weepy.
that's out. You guys are out of here. I do have some big gets to help me with this outro stuff. Instead of Ryan, I do, of course, have Puppeteer Petey here to tell me about some websites.
Well, hello there. I'm Puppeteer Petey, and I'm here to tell you about some websites. Would you like to hear from my puppets?
Absolutely.
Oh, I have 2 puppets here, and they would like to tell you about them. Puppet number 1, state your name.
Well, my name is George, and this is how I talk.
Oh, George, you're so hilarious. What would you like to tell us about websites?
Well, I would like to tell you that Puppeteer Petey is a touchy gentleman who loves nipples.
George, get out of here! I'm so sorry. I did not even invite George tonight. Shall we have George back on the microphone? George, will you behave yourself?
Yes, I will.
All right, George. I'll bring you back on, but one more chance or no lollipops for the rest of the day. Okay?
Okay.
All right, George, here we go.
Puppeteer Petey hates bleeding, and he hates when we bleed.
All right, that's enough of George. Let's go to our other puppet that I've invited to here. Her name is Sally the Seal. Sally the Seal, what is your favorite type of movie? What is it rated? Oh, that's crazy. Sally the Seal, that's adorable. And what is your favorite type of thing that a pirate would say?
Yep.
Oh my God, that is what they say. And also, Sally the Seal, what type of clothes do you like to wear?
Please call the police.
Please call the police. Okay, that's enough of Sally the Seal. I think that we've had enough puppetry for today.
No, we absolutely have not, because I haven't heard about a single website from these puppets.
Your puppetfilter.co. Popfilter.co. Popfilter.co is where you should go. No more puppets. Goodbye.
Go there. It's unfortunate you said that that's all the puppets we have. I have brought on more puppeteers, of course. I also have Paul the Puppeteer here to tell me about some other shows on the network. Paul, welcome to the pod.
Hello. Thank you for having me here tonight.
Anytime,
I'm the
Paul.
swanky lounge puppeteer. It gets a little blue. Like this puppet's balls. He's very horny.
What's that puppet's name?
Ronald.
Perfect. That fits.
Ronald, say hello. I'm only horny because you carved me that way. Shut up, Ronald.
These puppets are really sharing a lot. I did not expect this.
Oh, puppets are the most truthful creatures there are. Everybody knows that.
Some people are just learning that. And let me tell you, it's a wild time.
Yes. Well, what did you want me and Ronald to talk about?
Some other shows, another podcast you maybe listen to besides Superhero Show.
I love listening to Puppet Monthly, the monthly podcasts for puppeteers. All kinds of neat carving tricks and tips, voice work.
How much they talk about the balls on that one?
What was Ronald's voice? Not enough.
Perfect.
And of course, there's also... Shut up. There's also... Superhero... Wait, this is a superhero show, isn't it? There's also Movie of the Year. They're going through 2002. I like that show. I like 2002 movies. They had really great points about sexuality back in 2000. Shut up, Ronald.
Do you always tell your puppet to shut up so much?
Yes, it's part of the act.
It's fun. I get it. It does get a little blue. I see.
those are the shows. I don't know. Fuck off.
Love those shows. Those are great. Thank you so much for sharing your craft with us. We also got an email. It's contact@popfilter.co. You can hit us up on social media. We're at Your Pop Filter. Next week, we are going to have a big episode because it's the final episode of The Flash. We're focusing on it. We're going to do it. We're covering it for the main event. Also, American Born Chinese premieres on Disney Plus, and we are going to be looking back on X-Men to completion, you guys. So be sure to catch up for that.
Wait, I'm so sorry, Cassie. This is Ryan.
Yeah.
I'm back up on stairs. I have no puppets, by the way. You said we watched X-Men to completion?
Yep. We're looking back on watching X-Men to completion. That's what I have here. That's
Hold
what
on.
we're
Who's
gonna do.
who's this gentleman up here?
I'm Peter, and this is Ronald. And Ronald also wants to come to completion.
Oh, man. Cassie,
Fucking puppets, dude. I can never
Why
have
do you-
puppets in here again.
so you ask us to leave to just have puppets on here?
I thought it would be fun, okay? It seemed like a fun thing to have, and I made a mistake. I'm here to tell you all that I made a mistake.
Can I ask you one thing real quick? What is grosser, his puppet or his eyebrows right now?
Absolutely the eyebrows. Thank you so much for bringing attention to them.
What is his eyebrows?
They're fucked up, bro. Well, like I said, for Mike, I'm Ryan. For Ryan, I'm Mike. For me, I am me. And for Caitlin, I am me. Bye, everyone.